Of the Encinitas City Council and the San Diego Water District. It is Wednesday, June 8, 2022 at 4:07 p.m. May we please have a roll call?
Yes, Mayor. Councilmember Hinsey?
Here.
Councilmember Crayons?
Here.
Councilmember Lyons?
Here.
Deputy Mayor Mosca?
Here.
And Mayor Blakespear.
Here.
Record will show that all members of the City Council and the San Diego Water District are present.
Okay, thank you. Would you like to go over public comment procedures, City Clerk?
Yes, we actually do not have any attendees for public comment. But the public comments are they must join the Zoom webinar. When an item is called, you join using your computer audio, raise your hand. When the city clerk calls your name, then you unmute your microphone. You do have 3 minutes. And then once you are complete, then please mute your microphone and then you'll move back to an attendee.
Okay, do you feel we should wait any more minutes after I announce what the items are to make sure that people who might want to comment are able to?
Sure, we can. I'll do, when you're done announcing them all, I'll double check and let you know if we have any attendees.
Okay, good. Thank you. So the first item for closed session for the city is conference with real property negotiator under Government Code Section 54956.8, Leucadia Sea Bluff Village property. And the city negotiator is Jill Bankston to negotiate with Leucadia Sea Bluff Village property HOA. Under negotiation is price and terms. The second item is conference with real property negotiator under Government Code Section 54956.8. And the property is Berry Brothers Gas Station / Nanick Petro Inc. And the address is 1766 North Coast Highway, Leucadia. Negotiator for the city is Jill Bankston to negotiate with David Berry. Under negotiation is price and terms. The third item is conference with legal counsel existing litigation under Government Code Section 54956.9. And this is Encinitas Boulevard Apartments versus City of Encinitas. And then we have a joint closed session with the city and the San Diego Water District under Government Code Section 95956.9D, and this is significant exposure to litigation. The number of potential cases is 2, and the circumstances are personnel matters. So I will hand it back to you, City Clerk.
Yes, Mayor, there are no attendees for public comment.
Yes, and Madam City Clerk, if I could augment the record for the last item, those facts and circumstances, if they were known to potential plaintiffs, that would materially disadvantage the city. Those reasons, the facts and circumstances are not stated on the agenda.
Okay, thank you, City Attorney. We appreciate that. So I think we will, I don't see any comments from my colleagues, so I think we will adjourn into closed. And the way to do that is to go to the email that Kieran sent. That now includes the link for just the City Council. Is that right?
That's correct.
Okay. Okay, with that, we are adjourned.
A year, but you may need to clean it more depending on your use.
It is smart to keep matches and lighters out of reach of children. Remove the gas key at homes where children visit or live. When using a wood-burning fireplace and removing ashes, it should be cool and not put into your trash container. Rather, it put into a metal container. Store that container in a safe place outside, 10 feet away from the building.
When installing a new fireplace insert, ensure you are installing per the manufacturer's specifications and keeping the required distances from combustibles, such as the wood framing. Every home in California is required to have at least one carbon monoxide alarm. In addition, you should have smoke alarms in every bedroom and the hallways leading to the bedrooms. Be sure to test those smoke alarms once a month.
Please consider the following fireplace safety tips. Please ensure all fireplaces have an approved spark arrestor.
Please make sure, whenever going to bed or leaving your home, that the fireplace has been completely extinguished.
And finally, please ensure when using a wood burning or gas fireplace that the flue is open.
Thanks so much for watching. Be sure to check out our other safety videos.
The following fire safety video is brought to you by the Encinitas, Solana Beach, and Del Mar Fire Departments. This video will provide you with safety guidelines and recommendations on subjects to assist in keeping you, your family, and your home fire safe. Thank you for watching.
My name is Carrie Berberette from the Encinitas Fire Department, and today we're going to talk about candle safety. 3 out of every 5 candle fires are caused by items being placed too close to the candle. It is recommended that you use a flameless candle like this one here. It's battery operated with no flame. A great replacement to candles, while keeping that great scent, is wax melters. Similar to a lamp, wax melters use a bulb to heat and melt the wax, giving off the scent without the flame. If you insist on using open flame candles, here are some measures that you can take to reduce your fire risk. Make sure you extinguish candles before you leave the room, go to bed, or leave the house. You can set a timer or leave yourself a note to remind yourself. Keep anything that can burn at least 1 foot away from an open flame. This is also including the area above the candle as heat rises. Use caution where you place candles, ensuring that the candle holder is sturdy on a non-combustible surface and out of the area of pets and children. When using a candle in a glass container, you still want to make sure that it's on a non-combustible surface, as the glass can heat up as the candle burns down. Do not let candles burn all the way down to the bottom of the container, even when you have it on a non-combustible surface. Thanks so much for watching. Be sure to check out our other safety videos.
The following fire safety video is brought to you by the Encinitas, Solana Beach, and Del Mar Fire Departments. This video will provide you with safety guidelines and recommendations on subjects to assist in keeping you, your family, and your home fire safe. Thank you for watching.
I'm Carrie Berberette from the Encinitas Fire Department, and here in this video we're going to talk about space heater safety. When using a space heater, ensure that you have minimum 3 feet from anything that can burn, including dog beds, bedding, couches, or curtains. In homes with pets and children, ensure that your space heater is placed in an area that they cannot come in contact with it. Remember to turn off space heaters before you leave the room, leave the house, or go to bed. Ways that you can remind yourself are to set a timer or to leave yourself a note. It is recommended that you plug the space heater directly into its own wall outlet. If this cannot be achieved, you may utilize a multi-plug adapter or a power strip with overcurrent protection. Half of home heating fires are reported in the months of December, January, and February. So this is a great reminder that you're checking your smoke alarm once a month. Thanks so much for watching. Be sure to check out our other safety videos.
The following fire safety video is brought to you by the Encinitas, Solana Beach, and Del Mar Fire Departments. This video will provide you with safety guidelines and recommendations on subjects to assist in keeping you, your family, and your home fire safe. Thank you for watching.
Hi, I'm Kelly with the City of Encinitas Fire Department.
And I'm Zach, Solana Beach Fire Department. Today we're going to be talking about kitchen fire safety.
The National Fire Protection Association states the leading cause of kitchen fires is unattended cooking.
Before you start cooking, here are some things you should do. Change your clothes if needed. Avoid any loose clothing or anything that will come into contact with the open flame or burner.
Clear the cooking area of combustible materials such as kitchen towels and food containers.
Please ensure to routinely clean the top of your range and burners, keeping them free of any crumbs or oil. While cooking, here are some tips on how to keep you safe. Make sure to have your oven mitt and the lid to your pot or pan readily available.
When baking, simmering, or roasting, it's important to set 2 timers, one for the cooking time and one to remind you to check on the food.
When cooking on the stovetop, do not leave the burner unattended.
Here's some other things to remember when cooking in the kitchen.
Turn pots and pans inwards so children cannot grab them.
Teach children the dangers of cooking and heating food. Even using a microwave can be dangerous for children. It's best to keep children and pets completely out of the kitchen or maintain a 3-foot kid-free zone.
Use extreme caution when moving hot liquids from the stove, across the kitchen, to the sink. Make sure your pathway is clear of any children or pets.
In the event a fire occurs, here are some tips for extinguishing a small fire. The most important thing is your safety. If you do not feel you can safely extinguish a fire on your own, call 911 and leave the home immediately. For a stovetop fire, turn off the burner. Grab your oven mitt and place a lid on top of the pot or pan. Slowly move the pot or pan to an unused burner. If there's a fire in the oven, it's important to keep the door closed and turn the oven off.
If there's a fire in the microwave, keep it shut and turn it off.
We hope this safety video was a good reminder on how to stay safe when cooking tasty meals.
Thank you for watching, and be sure to check out our other safety videos.
The following fire safety video is brought to you by the Encinitas, Solana Beach, and Del Mar Fire Departments. This video will provide you with safety guidelines and recommendations on subjects to assist in keeping you, your family, and your home fire safe. Thank you for watching.
Hi, I'm Jordan Villagomez with the Encinitas Fire Department.
And I'm Zachary Basin, Solana Beach Fire Department.
Today we'll be talking about how to maintain and take care of your home fire sprinkler system. The National Fire Protection Association and the Home Fire Sprinkler Coalition report that you have less than 2 minutes to escape a house fire.
Fire sprinklers activate to keep a fire contained in one area. This reduces the amount of heat and smoke, which allows enough time to get out of your home.
Fire sprinklers are activated by heat equal to or greater than 135 degrees. Fire sprinklers require a constant heat source in order to activate. In most homes, the fire sprinkler head will be completely concealed with a cap, flush with the ceiling, as you can see in these photos. One of the most common myths that we hear are that all sprinklers in the home will go off at once. The fact is, fire sprinklers are activated by heat, and only the sprinklers in the area of the fire will discharge. Now let's get into the devices and physical components that make up your fire sprinkler system. Your water meter should be at the front of your property or at the entry to an easement or a long driveway. A majority of homes with fire sprinklers have 2 water meters, as shown in this photo. If there is only 1 water meter, this means your domestic water and your fire sprinkler system water share the same water line up to the house. If your water provider is Santa Fe Irrigation, you will have 2 separate water meter boxes, one for domestic water and one for your fire sprinkler water. Your fire sprinkler system may have a shutoff valve on the exterior of your home. There should be a tag that identifies this valve as the fire sprinkler system. It is important for this valve to always be in the on position. Like a gas valve, the sprinkler system is on when the valve handle is running in the same direction as the pipe, as seen in this photo.
Most likely, your fire sprinkler riser is within a cabinet in your garage. This cabinet can also be located on the outside of your home. There is a spare head box that contains spare fire sprinkler heads and a specialty wrench for the heads. The box should also contain an inspector's test key. There should also be a laminated fire sprinkler instruction sheet. You can view a copy of this sheet on our website, or we can mail a copy to you upon request.
The fire riser is considered the brains of the system and contains a pressure gauge, a pressure relief valve, and a flow switch. Only a licensed fire sprinkler contractor holding a C16 license can perform work on a fire sprinkler system. The fire riser box contains a pressure gauge, letting you know how much pressure is on the system. This pressure can be different all over the city and can even vary within the same neighborhood, depending on the size of the water main in the street. If your system has no pressure, or the pressure in the system has greatly increased or decreased from the typical pressure you're used to seeing, please give us a call so we can assist you. The pressure relief valve can relieve any buildup of pressure in the system. water will be released to the outside of your home through a drain pipe. If you see water continuously dripping from the exterior pipe, you will need to call a licensed fire sprinkler contractor to replace the valve.
The fire riser box also contains a flow switch. When water is flowing in the system, the flow switch triggers the bell to ring on the outside of your home. If the bell is ringing, this means water is flowing in the system, and you should investigate and contact 911 if there is a fire. Visual inspection should be conducted often to verify the following. The valve is in the on position with a handle running in the same direction as the pipe. The system has pressure on the gauge. Fire sprinkler heads and the caps covering them have no corrosion or discoloration.
Prior to testing your system, please do the following. If your burglar alarm is hooked up to the flow switch, you will need to call your alarm company first. Failing to call the alarm company will result in an emergency fire response to your home. Please call before you test. Please be sure to remove any bird's nest from the bell, which may obstruct the device that makes the bell ring. If the bell does not ring during your test, verify the electrical breaker is in the on position to provide power to the bell. This breaker should always be on. The bell should be visible, red in color, and have a sign that says, "When bell rings, call 911.
Use the inspector's test key to open the valve on the outside of your home. Turn the valve completely on so the full flow of water can activate the bell. Within 90 seconds, the bell on the exterior of your home should ring. Once you have heard the bell ringing, go back to the inspector's test valve and use the key to shut the water off. Once you shut the water off, the bell should no longer ring.
If you run into any issues with your fire sprinkler system, please call your fire department's fire prevention line for assistance. As a reminder, only a licensed fire sprinkler contractor holding a C16 license can work on fire sprinkler systems. It is recommended that you test your home fire sprinkler system a minimum of 2 times a year. And the best way to remember that is when we change time, because you're changing your smoke alarm batteries too.
When selling your home, it's important to contact a licensed fire sprinkler contractor.
As a reminder, it's important to check your smoke alarms and your carbon monoxide alarms. These are the first line of defense to notify you of a fire.
Thanks so much for watching. Be sure to check out our other safety videos.
Encinitas life is sandy beaches, busy businesses, great parks, and lots of places for recreation. It's good restaurants, cool clothing stores, great trails for hiking and horses. Encinitas is moms, dads, children, aunts, uncles, friends, and your neighbors. It's you and it's me. The city of Encinitas is run by a government that includes 1 mayor and 4 city council members. Every 2 years in November, Encinitas residents are given a chance to choose who is in that government by voting for the mayor and council members. These 5 people get to make a lot of important decisions. They help plan things like how many houses should be built and where, what kinds of recreational activities are available, like the Junior Lifeguards program, where to put streets and crosswalks, and lots more. The mayor and city council members can't do all those things on their own, though. They work with the city manager and all of the other people at City Hall to keep Encinitas great. Some of the things Encinitas government focuses on are infrastructure, things like roads and water quality, public safety, and quality of life for its residents. But not everything in Encinitas is decided by the city. Things like schools, freeways, buses, trains, and the military follow state and national laws. In order for the city to do all these things, it needs money. The money that the city uses to pay for things is called revenue. Most of the revenue comes from yearly property tax on the houses and buildings in Encinitas. But the city only gets 25 cents for every dollar paid in property taxes. Other revenue, called sales tax, comes from when you buy things like a book or a new pair of shoes. Some money comes from the fees you pay when you sign up for a city class or camp. Every year, the city estimates how much revenue it will have and thinks about everything that the city needs and what the residents want. Then, the city sets a budget for what it will be able to achieve that year based on how much everything will cost. And if the city council wants to do something, but they don't have enough money, they have to save up until they do have enough. Without all of these decisions, all of our lives would be very different. The city helps make it easier and safer for you to walk to school by building new sidewalks and crosswalks. We keep the streets nice for your parents to drive their cars on. We also make sure that you have water and that it's clean for you to drink, take a shower, and brush your teeth. the city also works to protect you. When you go to the beach, you see our lifeguards watching out for people in the water. If you have a fire, our firefighters will help put it out. Our sheriff deputies work to make sure our community is safe. And if anything big ever happens in the city, we make sure that we are prepared to take care of you and your families. Encinitas is your community. It's your neighborhood. The city touches the lives of everyone, from parks where you play, to the beaches where you swim, to trails where you hike, and the fun events like the spring egg hunt and the holiday parade. This is Encinitas life. Everything you do, everything you touch is impacted in some way by the decisions made at City Hall. And everything we do at City Hall begins and ends with you. You have a voice. You have a say in the things that impact you every day. So, it is important to let us hear your voice. There are many ways you can be involved. Learn. Stay informed by watching the news and reading about what's happening in our community and around the world. Ask your parents and teachers questions. Act. Attend and speak at a city council meeting, or write a letter to let the city council know how you feel about an issue. Volunteer. Help make a difference by finding ways to volunteer. Lead. Join a club, run for your student council, or become a youth commissioner and start learning to be a leader. Engage. Talk to your friends and family about the things that are important to you. Vote. Even though you're not old enough to vote right now, it is important for you to learn about your community so you'll be prepared when you turn 18. Remember, every voice, every vote counts. Do your part. Be heard. We're listening. Encinitas. It's you and it's me.
Encompassing the best features of North County, from warm sand beaches to stellar parks, Encinitas is an incredible community that brings the amenities of a big city while maintaining its small town charm. Community is everything in Encinitas. From flowers to surfing to delicious foods or locally curated goods, Encinitas offers it all. With that, it's not surprising that residents love living here, but there has been a threat to our community and the people who help make the city great. Rising housing costs make it harder to provide suitable housing for workers such as teachers, nurses, and firefighters. Children raised in Encinitas can struggle to stay in their hometown, and longtime residents are finding their need to move away from the city they love. With the average cost of a home in Encinitas at $1.3 million and 73% of all housing in Encinitas set aside for single-family homes, down payments can be out of reach for a lot of these individuals. In addition, California state law requires all cities and counties to adopt a plan for housing to meet the housing needs for everyone in the community. The State Housing and Community Development Department works together with the San Diego Association Governments, better known as SANDAG, to determine an appropriate housing target for every San Diego city based on factors specific to each city. While both the state and SANDAG note a need for more housing in Encinitas, no one wants new housing units to negatively impact our community. We understand that there are many valid concerns about adding more housing in Encinitas. Increased traffic, loss of community character, and respecting home values are all issues that need to be considered. We hear your concerns, and accounting for all factors, we believe there is an Encinitas solution that will allow us to add state-required housing thoughtfully. This will help us keep state grant funding for important infrastructure and active transportation projects in the community and avoid pricey lawsuits.
Lack of affordable housing can also lead to an increase in homelessness, which affects the community, requiring resources to manage. Having an approved housing plan is also part of the city's strategic plan for 2019 through 2020. And we want to make sure that Encinitas have a say as to where housing units are built, which might not be the case if the state steps in. The state and SANDAG have determined that 1,554 affordable units are needed, 838 of which need to be classified as very low or low-income units. We know there's been some concern in the community when hearing the type of units needed. Given the median Encinitas household income of $113,175, the income threshold for very low or low-income housing is $64,700 for an individual and $92,400 for a family. This means the standard salaries for our first responders, healthcare providers, teachers, seniors, and retirees could qualify for low and very low income housing. With our choice coastal locale and desirable community, all of us want to experience the quality of life that makes Encinitas special. A safe coastal community with excellent schools. This will only be possible with more affordable housing options. So, how do we make sure we meet the state requirements to build this new housing? Well, we're already doing a lot to meet the thresholds set by the state. Since 2010, the city has processed permits for 440 accessory dwelling units or granny flats in the community. This program is considered a model for other jurisdictions and was awarded the prestigious Helen Putnam Award for Innovation and Leadership. Given its success, we can keep promoting our accessory dwelling unit program. Additionally, we can continue to identify new affordable housing locations. One new idea the city is exploring is a city-owned affordable housing complex in Encinitas. This could potentially help the city meet the targets established by the state and balance the concerns of the community. The city will be analyzing potential locations in the community, seeking public input, and determining feasibility and costs for such a project.
Encinitas creates opportunities for everyone within our community. You can see that in our investment in transportation and mobility, homeless action plan, our parks, recreation, and cultural arts programs. Let's do the same for housing in our community. Let's continue to work together, ensuring a housing plan that is the best for everyone in our community.
Hi, I'm Diego.
And I'm Paula. We live in North San Diego County and work for our hometowns as city planners.
And together, with your input, we help our beloved communities plan for smart, sustainable growth. It's no secret that North County is an amazing place to live. Our great communities didn't just happen by accident. They are the result of years of careful community planning, requiring collaboration and dialogue between planners like us and city staff, the community, business leaders, developers, and finally, decision makers like elected officials.
You might be asking yourself, what exactly is city planning? Simply put, it's the planning of the construction, growth, and development of a town, city, or urban area. As planners, we are always thinking about the current and future needs of our communities. Our goal is to plan for future growth while balancing history and community character.
Planners have an incredibly important role to play in our city. They have the opportunity to influence and to shape the physical environment where we live, work, and play. Planners review and recommend projects based upon whether they meet our applicable laws, regulations, and policies. It's not a matter of whether a project should have one red door or 2 windows, but instead whether the project meets the plain meaning and intent of the laws and plans in place in our city.
Our local policies anchor all of our work. They encourage us to zoom out and keep the big picture in mind. This is important because not many projects are black and white from a planning perspective. There are shades of gray when it comes to the laws and our policies. In these cases, planners need to listen and lean on community input to make the best decisions. We work together to come up with a compromise.
Oftentimes, projects begin when a developer comes to a city wanting to build a project, or we recognize a community need, or we need to comply with state or federal government regulations.
If you see something being built in your community, you may wonder, what is this? And why is it here? Or who approved this? Whether you're in Del Mar or Cambria, there are specific policies in place that guide all planners in all cities throughout California. Every city has a general plan or a community plan that serves as a blueprint or a vision for that community. There are also specific plans that serve as a blueprint for a specific area or neighborhood.
Our aim is always to find solutions that work for everyone. We look to guidance from local planning policies for our decisions, and we focus on the bigger picture.
Planners have long been liaisons to the community, providing that bridge between local government and the constituency it serves. They help these community members understand federal, state, and regional priorities that impact their local communities, and they work with community members to balance these priorities with local concerns.
Most people don't realize that when planners review projects and make recommendations to decision makers regarding their approval, there's often years of planning and sometimes even decades that have gone into those projects. There's a lot of thought and intention behind these planning policies, so even if you don't see the work happening, it's there, just behind the scenes. Again, it's those great planning policies that result in great communities like the ones we enjoy here in North County.
Like Julie said, all cities look to their planning policies to decide what should go where in their city. This ensures that what we're planning makes sense and will work well in the community. We wouldn't put an industrial factory in the middle of a residential area. Instead, we'd rather identify a more appropriate location for the factory in the community.
Planners are always trying to find the right mix of uses for our community. It's a constant balancing act. We have to provide accommodation for growth while still preserving our community character. Where should we put housing, businesses, services, industrial, educational, places of worship, transit? These pieces all have to fit together in order to make the North County a great community.
Not only does a planner review every project against a city's planning policies, they also make a recommendation to the decision makers on nearly every project that is built in the city. These are complicated projects. It's our job to unpack them, provide education and information to the decision makers and the public so it's easier to understand. That's our role, and we're glad to do it in the communities we love.
So now you know a little more about what goes into making our North County communities great. Now what will you do? We look at you as an expert in being a resident or a business owner in our communities. We challenge you to think about your role in shaping your community. Whether it's volunteering on a city board or commission, providing input on an important city project, or watching a Zoom meeting of a city council meeting, we encourage you to continue to be part of the change you want to see in our communities.
The City of Encinitas is proceeding with a process to develop the El Camino Real specific plan, a plan to reimagine what's possible for future development within the El Camino Real corridor in Encinitas. Today, the El Camino Real corridor is the city's most vibrant commercial corridor and serves as a major thoroughfare within the community. In the future, the city's general plan envisions transforming El Camino Real into a more connected, walkable area that supports a mixture of uses, including retail, office, and even neighborhood-friendly housing in the right locations. The development of a specific plan for the El Camino Real corridor will provide the city with the community input and standards needed to bring that vision to life along the corridor. Planner Paula and Planner Diego will now explain how the El Camino Real specific plan will identify new opportunities for this important corridor in the Encinitas community.
Hi, I'm Planner Paula.
And I'm Planner Diego. We are city planners.
And we need your input to guide the development of the El Camino Real specific plan. But first, you might be wondering, what's a specific plan?
Cities throughout California have what is called a general plan. The general plan acts as a blueprint or vision for development in a city.
A specific plan implements the goals and policies of the general plan for a specific area or neighborhood within the community. Simply put, the El Camino Real specific plan will guide future development by identifying the most appropriate locations for the following within the corridor: businesses, schools, parks, trails, transportation, and future housing.
Since the city of Encinitas was incorporated in 1986, the needs of our community, not to mention the real estate market, have evolved. The El Camino Real specific plan will help us revitalize and preserve the long-term health of this important corridor, a benefit to our entire city. The plan will ensure that future development along the corridor meets the needs of the community.
If the corridor doesn't evolve to meet those needs, we could end up with many vacancies and empty buildings along El Camino Real. This would result in impacts to the city's general fund, which is used to pay for public safety and other community services. To keep Encinitas an enjoyable place to live, work, and visit, we must take steps now to plan for the corridor's future.
Now, we are passing the key to you. This is your chance to unlock the future of the Encinitas El Camino Real corridor.
The city is at the very early stages of the specific plan development process. Before the city moves forward with the specific plan, we want to check in with you to understand the values and priorities that are most important to you. This is the first of many opportunities for you to get involved in the process. The city is now starting outreach with the community and will use this input to develop the specific plan. The city will schedule virtual meetings and presentations to community stakeholders and launch an online survey to seek input on the specific plan. We encourage you to get involved. For more information and to sign up for alerts, please visit encinitasca.gov/El Camino Real SP.
Did you know the average Encinitan throws away over 5 pounds of trash a day? 85% of the waste stream at multifamily properties is going in the trash, when most of this should be recycled. Waste less from land to sea by recycling right in your household. When recycling at home, don't forget the basics. Always make sure your recyclables are empty, dry, and added to your cart loose instead of in a bag. We know some items are tricky. Here are some sorting tips to help you recycle right. All of these go in your curbside trash bin, not your recycling cart. Disposable masks, plastic utensils and compostable plastics, tanglers such as garden hoses, and mixed materials like your disposable coffee cup and most shipping bags. Remember, all of these items should go into your trash and not your recycling bin. Some items don't belong in either your curbside trash or recycling bin, but can still be recycled at the proper facility. Materials such as plastic bags, hazardous materials, bulky items and furniture, e-waste and batteries, and needles and sharps. Recycling can be easy. Just find what works for you. Whether you reuse a bag liner in your recycling bin, use a brown paper bag, or use no liner at all. Don't forget the empty, dry, and loose guidelines. As a community, we need to generate significantly less waste and recycle right to achieve the city's climate action plan goals. Every action makes a difference. Thank you for choosing to do your part to keep Encinitas green and set an example for others to live sustainably.
We know Encinitas to be a thriving coastal city, but it wasn't always like this. In 1922, Encinitas was a rural hamlet in an unincorporated part of San Diego County. The creation of the San Diego Irrigation District, now known as the San Diego Water District, was an essential part of our city's development for the past century. The San Diego Water District has grown along with the city of Encinitas. What was once a loose collective of agricultural properties has become a vibrant beach city. Water has always been the linchpin of growth and development in the desert climate of Southern California. Local indigenous people settled near reliable water sources. The Mexican rancheros of Alta California developed their ranchos based on access to resources for raising cattle. Cottonwood Creek is what brought the railroad to Encinitas, which became a catalyst for early development in the area. In 1926, the city of San Diego granted 3,200 acre-feet of Lake Hodges water annually to the San Diego Irrigation District. Joining the San Diego County Water Authority in 1948 gave access to other supply sources from the region, helping Encinitas to become known as the flower capital of the world. Our partnerships with the Santa Fe Irrigation District and the San Alejo Joint Powers Authority are another valuable way we keep water flowing. Our water supply technology has evolved over the past 100 years. The district was once dependent on redwood pipes, open flumes, an above-ground water tank, and Lake Hodges Dam was state-of-the-art. The district now maintains 2 underground reservoirs with a 10 million gallon capacity. SCADA technology provides real-time data of district water supply, and GIS mapping systems help us keep track of infrastructure. Now nearly 170 miles of pipeline and over 12,000 service lines. As the district enters its second century of service, our need to balance the demands of a growing city and the limited supply of this precious resource becomes more important than ever. The San Diego Water District is proud of its history and, of course, its people. We look forward to providing service to the community and continuing to grow to meet the challenges of tomorrow.
We're now at this point of 100 years, and it's important for us to kind of really think about the future. For me, serving as the chair of San Diego Water District has been just a great privilege, and again, serving at 100 years is really, a moment to kind of reflect on the past and think about the leaders that have come before us. When you start to look at the infrastructure that has been built in this region and throughout the state of California, built by folks 70 years ago, 100 years ago, that is still serving us today.
Water is the precursor to all of our societal progress. And so when you think about the importance of this water district and reflecting on it being in existence for 100 years and formed 100 years ago, what I think about is the fact that we've only been a city for a little bit more than 30 years. Our employees are fantastic, and they work so hard in conditions that sometimes are difficult. Ultimately it comes down to the employees are serving our residents. That is their commitment, and they're doing a great job of it, and I couldn't be more proud of the workers who work for this district.
I am always amazed with the San Diego Water District workers. I've seen them out there at all hours of the night. They always are working hard. It's not one of those situations where you look over and you see one guy watching while others are doing the work. It's like all hands on deck, and I try to make a point to go up and thank them for their work. And every time I have, they're so gracious, and they just have such a spirit of service to our city.
This community started a long time ago, and it was basically because of our fresh water supply that the railroad decided to stop here. So the history of Encinitas is seeped in water, so it's not surprising that we have a 100-year-old water district, and it brings me a lot of pride to be able to be a part of the leadership of that.
The Water District is a great steward of our water resources. They have been very competent at storing, delivering, and conserving water throughout our community. And as we move forward into the future, they are really going to focus on water reuse, and they're engaging regionally on the opportunities for us to conserve even better with water reuse.
I am Isam Paresh. I'm the San Diego Water District General Manager. It's our commitment to our customers that we will continue to be a customer-focused utility, providing safe, reliable water in a cost-effective and environmentally sustainable manner, and that we engage in regional initiatives which provide viable, environmentally responsible and cost-effective alternative sources of water supply, including potable water reuse and recycled water.
The streetscape project has always had a focus on rebuilding the tree canopy here in the 101 corridor.
They're kind of an iconic tree around here. You know, they're native to specifically to San Diego and North County. So it's kind of a landmark tree, or certainly will be.
With the undercrossing to Pollocky School, as well as people getting access to the beach, so it'll be a real gem in the middle of this project.
30 years ago, as the shirt shows, on January 4th, 1992, I organized the first tree planting of 101 trees on Highway 101. And we planted California native trees to connect the lagoon to Cottonwood Creek. And of those 101 trees, 33 are still in existence. So I hope that these trees do as well.
I'm the president of the Leucadia Main Street Association. The organization was founded in 2003 by Charlie Marvin, Kirsten's husband. Honestly, none of this would have happened without Charlie. Charlie was really the driving force behind this entire thing.
He's here in spirit. He passed away last year in May, and he did see part of this completed, and he was extremely happy, and this is his dream come true. I love the tree. It's beautiful. I can't wait to see it grow.
They can be pretty huge when they're full grown, so it will be spectacular maybe while I'm still around, and if nothing else for my kids and their kids and your kids.
Mixed recycling is important to create a sustainable future for our planet. What you put in your green bin matters. Your unwanted scraps get turned into nutrients for our soil to grow more food. This beautiful process only works if we all sort right. Ready to test your knowledge? Watch the following scenes to see how well you know what can and can't go in the green bin. Remember, you should recycle clean cardboard and paper. Food-soiled paper, such as this greasy pizza box, should go in the green bin. Thanks for playing. Don't forget, keep contaminants out. Sorting organics properly directly impacts the future of our climate. Thank you for doing your part and keeping the organic stream clean.
California is taking a big step towards building a sustainable future by implementing a new law on organic waste. It requires that no organics be sent to the landfill, instead sending edible excess food to feed people in need, and inedible organics to feed livestock, turn into compost, or become renewable natural gas.
And being a restaurant owner, there's just a lot of waste. When you're at home and you just see little amounts, but when you're seeing dumpsters full, I think you can't not care once you see it.
So what does this mean for you and your workplace? Instead of putting food scraps in the landfill bin, All employees and customers must dispose of scraps in designated organic containers. These scraps should get emptied into a green dumpster for organic materials, which gets picked up by EDCO and anaerobically digested. First, set up your bins in a way that makes the most sense in your kitchen. The ideal scenario is to co-locate organic bins with all landfill bins in your kitchen. Ideally, organic bins are green and have clear signage at eye level, so it's easy for everyone to identify what goes in it. Always design your bin setup keeping in mind what is disposed of at each location. For instance, in your dishwash area, you may be disposing of organic waste steadily throughout the day, so you'll need to position a larger bin here. At an ingredient prep station, you might create a lot of trimmings at one time and can use a countertop container to collect the scraps and then dump them in a bin elsewhere in the kitchen. You can also put your bins on a trolley so you can move it to different stations as needed. Make sure to never leave a landfill bin by a station that produces organic waste without an organics bin next to it. Since food scraps are heavy, you'll need to make sure to empty the bin when it's half full or less. If you use plastic liners, make sure they get disposed of in the landfill dumpster separately from the organic material. If customers are disposing of waste in your dining area, you'll also need to provide them with a green bin with appropriate signage to dispose of any food scraps. Next, you want to make sure that everyone on the team knows what goes where. Unlike home composting, all food is fine, even bones and greasy food from customer leftovers. But large quantities of grease should still be sent to proper FOG recycling. It's important to keep materials that are made of plastic or other non-biodegradable materials out of the green bin. Plastic-like products that say compostable or biodegradable cannot be sent to organic recycling, even if they are plant-based. When disposing of customer plate waste, make sure to sort out any silverware, plastic wrapping, plastic utensils, or condiment packets. When prepping, make sure to dispose of food wrappers like plastic bags and any lined or plastic cartons in the landfill bin.
Instead of taking dirty dishes full of organic and putting in a bus tub, which goes right back to the kitchen for the dishwasher to deal with, we just separate the organic waste into a separate container. So it's really quite simple, and frankly, it's made the dishwasher's job a little easier because he's not the one in the back separating it. So.
Lastly, now that you have set up your system and know what goes where, all you need to do is keep up the good habits. Incorporate this training into your onboarding process. Make sure signage is well displayed and provide consistent reminders to all staff. Managers are required to periodically inspect the green containers and notify employees of contamination so that the team can continue to learn and improve. If you aren't sure where something goes, ask your shift manager to find out. Appoint a champion to help keep the program on track.
For me, it's been really easy. I don't think that there's been a hard part. Yeah, everybody's on the same page. Everybody likes it. We're all trying to figure out what can go in the green bin, and sometimes we'll have something and somebody will be like, no, that can't go in. Like, yes, it can. No, it can't. And then eventually we all figure it out, and everybody's really excited to figure out the new things.
Thank you for your attention and effort to making this new sustainable program a successful part of our community.
The following fire safety video is brought to you by the Encinitas, Solana Beach, and Del Mar Fire Departments. This video will provide you with safety guidelines and recommendations on subjects to assist in keeping you, your family, and your home fire safe. Thank you for watching.
I'm Carrie Berberette from the Encinitas Fire Department.
I'm Zachary Basin, Solana Beach Fire Department.
And today we're going to talk about fireplace safety. According to the National Fire Protection Association, 1 in every 7 home fires and 1 in every 5 home fire deaths is a result from heating equipment. When utilizing a wood-burning fireplace, ensure the front has a screened cover to prevent embers from escaping. Wood-burning fireplaces should have a non-combustible surface fronting the fireplace, such as tile or brick.
When installing an outdoor fireplace, please ensure it's installed per its manufacturer details.
Keep anything that can burn at least 3 feet from the fireplace opening. This includes pillows, couch cushions, or anything hanging over the mantle.
Please use your gas fireplace as it is intended. Do not place combustible materials, including wood, paper, or trash.
The National Fire Protection Association recommends you have your chimney cleaned once a year, but you may need to clean it more depending on your use.
It is smart to keep matches and lighters out of reach of children. Remove the gas key at homes where children visit or live. When using a wood-burning fireplace and removing ashes, it should be cool and not put into your trash container. Rather, it put into a metal container. Store that container in a safe place outside, 10 feet away from the building.
When installing a new fireplace insert, ensure you are installing per the manufacturer's specifications and keeping the required distances from combustibles, such as the wood framing. Every home in California is required to have at least 1 carbon monoxide alarm. In addition, you should have smoke alarms in every bedroom and the hallways leading to the bedrooms. Be sure to test those smoke alarms once a month.
Please consider the following fireplace safety tips. Please ensure all fireplaces have an approved spark arrestor.
Please make sure, whenever going to bed or leaving your home, that the fireplace has been completely extinguished.
And finally, please ensure when using a wood-burning or gas fireplace that the flue is open.
Thanks so much for watching. Be sure to check out our other safety videos.
The following fire safety video is brought to you by the Encinitas, Solana Beach, and Del Mar Fire Departments. This video will provide you with safety guidelines and recommendations on subjects to assist in keeping you, your family, and your home fire safe. Thank you for watching.
My name is Carrie Berberette from the Encinitas Fire Department, and today we're going to talk about candle safety. 3 out of every 5 candle fires are caused by items being placed too close to the candle. It is recommended that you use a flameless candle like this one here. It's battery operated with no flame. A great replacement to candles, while keeping that great scent, is wax melters. Similar to a lamp, wax melters use a bulb to heat and melt the wax, giving off the scent without the flame. If you insist on using open flame candles, here are some measures that you can take to reduce your fire risk. Make sure you extinguish candles before you leave the room, go to bed, or leave the house. You can set a timer or leave yourself a note to remind